good thing. Now, you are in the direct mix of this. When you join the university, when you come to Tharaka University, these are the things you're going to do. Tuko pamoja? Hello? Are we together? So, when we talk of CBC, CBC is the mother of it all. It is a competence-based curriculum. And what is happening? What makes me so excited about CBC? Because we are transitioning from the 844 system. Okay? And in the 844, we are talking about 8 years in the primary school, then 4 years in secondary school, then 4 years in the university. Then go look for a job. And you pray to God that by the way, with the current level of corruption, I need somebody to hold my hand and do what? Get me a job. Trust me, I want to think, I stand to be guided, my leaders. Maybe this will also help to curb corruption. Am I right to think so? Because then I don't need someone to hold my hand and give me a job. I create the job myself. That was 844. But with CBC, I'm able to do something for myself. So we are transitioning as a country from 844 to now the competency-based curriculum, which is now guided by the principle of competency-based education, which is CBE, and then followed by the assessment. The curriculum comes, and then the education sets in, and then the assessment sets in. That is CBA, competency-based assessment. And now, of course, the approach is more of, like Prof said here, learner-based, learner-centered. Why? Because it is meant to equip the learner with knowledge, the relevant skills, even the values that you need to live as a young man and a young woman. The attitude is also trained. The competencies that you have is also trained. So all these that you need to acquire, so that you live a real life, so that you have your life into your hands, you have it to the full. Because then you'll be equipped with the relevant knowledge, the relevant skills, the values, and the attitude. You are able to survive. Hello? We are able to survive. And so that is what CBC is all about. And so in the competency-based assessment, of course, we are going to talk about evaluations of our academic performances, our academic understanding, by demonstration. What you have mastered, what you have understood, you put it in reality. You practice it. You do it. You show it to the world. And so again, I throw it back to Tharaka University. I become very happy when we have an innovation week, because it gives me a chance to implement, to showcase the skills, the competencies that I have learned. Okay? And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, CBC is more of the skills and the gift, the talent that God has given you. Okay? Showcase it. Bring it to the world. And so, at the end of the day, let us come down to the structures of CBC in Kenya today. When we talk of CBC, just like we're talking of 844, we are also talking of the CBC in terms of 2633 structure. Do you know what that means? 2633 structure. What we mean by 2, it is that we have 2 years in the preschool. PP1 and PP2. PP1 takes a year. PP2 is the second year. That is 2. Then the 6. Then you join the primary school. That is grade 1, 2, up to 6, which is primary school. The 6, 2, 6. Then the 3. You, after finishing primary school, then you join the junior school, which has how many years? 3 years. Now we have 2, 6, and 3. Are we following? We have 2 and 6, and then 3. 2 years in preschool, PP1 and PP2. Then we have grade 1 to grade 6. Then we have junior school, which is grade 7 up to 9. Okay? Then after grade 9, then you go to senior school. And we are having them for the first time in high school. Okay? We're having them for the first time in high school. Now, senior school is from grade 10 after you have done the national exams at grade 9, then you graduate to grade 10, which will again take you how many other years? 3. Okay? After those 3 years, then you join the tertiary institution like Tharaka University for at least 3 years. Now, the learning areas in the 2 years of preschool, of course, it is about language activities, learning how to speak, learning how to respond, to listen, to interact with those around you. We also have the mathematical activities, learning how to add, how to remove, how to put together. That is in the preschool. We have the environment. You learn your environment, where you live, and the things that there is, you appreciate the environment. That is at preschool. And then you also learn about religion at preschool. That's when you learn to draw the creations and what God has created. The human being, you draw daddy, you draw mommy, you draw the trees, you draw the sun. I have a son in PP2 right now, and some of the homework that he brings at home is they are told to color God's creation, and part of the creation is the sun. I'm like, oh, this is actually a big deal. You see, when you're big, it is not a big deal, but when you're young, it is actually a very big. Then you ask him, what is the color of the sun? And he's so excited to say, it is yellow. I'm like, not green. Mom, no. The sun is yellow, as per their thinking. You know, they learn all these things at preschool. Then when you go to the next, is now the primary school, the 6 years in primary school. Of course, again, the subjects that are included there, we have English. Now that you will have learned to interact with people around you with the common language and mode of communication. Now, you settle down to grade 1, speaking English or Kiswahili or sign language. Then we have now serious mathematics, where they're able to add 1 + 1 to get 2. Tuko pamoja. Then we have environmental activities again at a greater height. Then now we bring in creativity and arts. Okay? And that is where you're able to spot a young girl or a young boy, what they love, what the gift that God has given them. You're able to identify it from that early stage. The social studies, the science and technology, that is in the primary school. Now, when you are done with primary school, then you join the junior school. After doing KIPSEA, you join the junior school. That is from grade 7 to grade 9. Now, in grade 7 to 9, those 3 years, you are going to be doing greater mathematics. You're going to do English again, Kiswahili, integrated science, social studies, pre-technical studies, business studies, and computer. Now, computer comes in because ideally, your brain is now a bit sharper and more mature. Okay? You're able to do computer. That is at junior school. Then when you're done with junior school, after doing grade 9, then you go to senior school. Now in the senior school, you're going to do all the other subjects that you have been doing. Tuko pamoja. That is what is happening at senior school, apparently. And for your information, this is the first time the senior school is joining high school. The first time in the history of the country. And so, what is the goal of CBC, CBE, CBA? Number 1, it is meant to nurture every learner's potential. It identifies the potentiousness of every young girl at an early stage, every young boy at an early stage, what they love, what is their gift. Identify it and then nurture it. If it is music, I was so impressed with I have the people who are doing a bongo or something, the previous performance, the team, the 2 young gentlemen that were here. Ideally with the CBC, this talent would have been identified earlier on from an early stage. Then they grow with it. They don't need to go do biology if they don't have a strength there. They don't need to do chemistry if that is not their calling. With the CBC, they follow. The teachers and the schools and the institutions guide the learner in their area of interest and area of expertise. Then promote values and national identity, fit in the country, collaborate and interact and react with those around you. Prepare learners for the economy, engaging, and all that. Now, the values that is also promoted in CBC, if we absorb CBC, of course it is respect for one another, because you realize you're not alone. Because you are a creature and creation of God, you're not alone. There are also other things. Respect one another, respect the environment, respect everything that we have. Treat them well. You don't just find any dog on the streets and kick it and kill it because it is a dog and you're a human being. No, you respect and we coexist with everybody around us. Respect authority, respect leadership. These are some of the values that are in CBC. Responsibility, learn to stand alone, learn to survive, learn to be responsible for yourself. That is CBC. Integrity, learn to be faithful, learn to be honest, do things the right way. That's why I was saying earlier on, Madam Professor, that maybe this is a tool for fighting corruption. Because if they are promoting values like integrity, then it means I have to find my way out the best way. How? Not someone helping me find myself. Not someone holding my hand where I have to give something to that person. That is not a value that God has put in us. That is from the devil. And that is why when we follow that route, we will pay. But may God help us. So there's also the aspect of unity, peace, social justice, etc., etc. But then also, let us look at some of the challenges that we have at CBC. It is a beautiful curriculum. It is a beautiful, let me call it a project. Everything about it is beautiful. But let me tell you, it is never a bed of roses for CBC, CBE, and CBA. Why? Because it requires teachers, trained teachers, trained staff, which we don't have enough. Why? Because I could partly say, excuse the universities, because they've got to wait for the high school to finish, then join the tertiary university, then train them. Okay? For the universities, yes. But for the high school where the senior students have already joined, what happens? The resources are not enough. The government is also not putting in enough. The government is overstretched. That is theirs to say. I'm not defending nobody. I'm just telling you what is happening out there. The resources that the institutions have are inadequate. And that is why we will look down into the pathways. But as I speak, I want to tell you that not every school has been able to take all the pathways. Why? Because of the resources. So you find a school taking only two. Only two. We have STEM, we have creative arts and sports, we also have social sciences. Now, in the government schools, they've been advised to at least do two. Because of why? The resources are not enough. But it is also left to those institutions that are able to take the three. So resources are